public ruling
Yeah.
or a private ruling. Public ruling covers everybody, of a class or who use a product or just generally. Private ruling only applies to the taxpayer that applied for it, and they publish, them on the website, which is good fun to see what goes on there. If you ask the ATO for a public ruling, they can decline.
Yeah.
They can say, we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
See you later.
And
Or-
on what grounds would they decline?
Because they don't want it.
Oh, okay. They
Like,
can just say that.
They
I don't want to do
they
it.
have complete option to just not do
Oh,
it.
really?
Yep. Which is why we didn't start there.
Yeah.
Because with a private ruling, essentially the commissioner has to rule as long as there's certainty about, you're actually going to do the transaction.
But you've already done it.
But we'd already done it. So like they didn't have any of those veto cards in there.
Yeah.
And also they're putting that in, instead of going through a complex advice team, I got a ruling officer from the individuals team.
Yeah.
Who just ruled on it. It took about 2 months.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
And we got that successfully. And maybe, like we haven't done a public ruling yet on this. Maybe when we go for a public ruling, the ATO will be quite unhappy.
Yeah.
But like,
But the fact that they've done a private ruling already would
Yeah.
probably have some weight in saying that, well, we've already made a ruling on this.
Yeah.
Now,
There's something out there.
Yeah.
It's and like, what's the point of these products? Is to give taxpayers certainty about the tax they have to pay. And this is a big area of uncertainty. So by saying, well, there's a public ruling, it covers you for X product because we think it complies, like that helps both the ATA lessen audits and compliance nonsense.
Yeah.
And helps taxpayers pay the right amount of tax. Everybody wins.
the other thing I was looking at as well is like based on like T's and C's of a lot of exchanges out there, you're potentially in a CGT event when you're transferring assets to an exchange. And based on most of the terms and conditions, right? So,
Yes, that's right. And I've upset many exchanges by saying that. But now the regulatory stuff's cooling a bit.
Yeah.
Tax is coming front of mind. I get to say it to them again and they get just as riled up as before.
Yeah.
But like there was one exchange I spoke with and they were like, we completely disagree. I was like, sure. Okay. Show me your financial statements.
Yeah.
Is it on your balance sheet? They're like, well, yeah. I was like, it's because of zero assets, mate.
Yeah.
And just like when FTX went under, they're all unsecured creditors. If they held it on trust for you, you would be ranking number one.
Yeah. And you
But
get
they
it
didn't.
returned.
They rank last.
And you don't get it back.
That's right. Everyone else gets paid first.
Yeah.
In that case, there was extra money, whatever. So a lot of exchange conditions, in terms of conditions, it's ours. We owe you the amount back, in more words.
Yeah.
Some exchanges have changed their terms to be like a trust relationship.
Yeah.
When the new digital asset platform reforms come in, then they've got to hold it through a custodian anyway.
Yeah.
So like that's going to fix it. But in the short term, it's kind of still got a bit of a problem here.
Yeah.
Um,
And is that just out of curiosity, right?
Yeah,
That those sort of like gray areas or, areas that don't give even institutions in the space that sort of like clarity on how do we actually need to operate to make sure that, everybody knows where they sit and stand.
Yeah.
Like that's still like a massive blind spot in this industry, right? Like there's so much stuff that's kind of, you can go either way. Like I remember when we were exploring doing the private ruling and talking to a lot of other, accountants and lawyers, some said, just don't touch it. Just stay in the gray, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, cool. We want to know ourselves.
Yeah.
Like
and I said to you, I think I can get it.
Yeah.
And we got it.